goal! Try to goal! And what a goal!
What's the crack? What's the bleeding story? How is all doing? Dale Boy's back. He's in Dublin. No sunshine in Dublin. It's fucking pissing rain. So jumpers on, everything it is. No messing this evening. We're getting straight stuck into fucking everything. We're sorting it all out. We need you guys involved big time because I'm only talking shite on them transfer shitey things that I do. I'd rather you guys in here mixing it up with the Del Boy. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're going to talk about a few things this evening, get a few people in, hopefully, if you want to come on, and if you don't, and you don't want to show your face and all that stuff, walk away, no problem. Put on a balaclava, you can hit the button itself just as easy. But yeah, I wanted to just start off before I get into the transfer thing about Steve Round, one of these elite coaches that were at Arsenal, and he is gonzo. Got the fuck out, mutual consent. Basically, he was put under pressure. He was told, Steve Boy, you are a shite coach. See you later. I said it, I'd say about 2 years ago now. I said it about Steve Round. Man United didn't want him. Why the hell are we having him? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's the way this club works. It also says to me that Arteta's shaking things up. He probably doesn't see the coaching staff and he needs to probably get someone else in. Fair enough. You know, is it? And this is only me speculating. I seen Carzola has retired from football and he's been flirting with Arteta. Could he come as a coach? We don't know. Del Boy talking shite here again. You never know. But anyway, I just thought I'd get that in there. I'd be interested to see what you guys have to say. I'm going to, first of all, drop the link in the description and we'll get a few people on. We don't know who's coming on. That's the joy of this show. You know what I mean? So hold on. Let me just hit that there. Boom. Right. Well, that's going out. I'm going to hit a few comments because we're flying in already. Smash the like. Please do smash the like if you're there. And if you're not subscribed, give us a subscription. It's €50 a month. Only messing. It's free. You know that. First up in the chat was, who's this man? Arsenal. Good man. What's the story? Del Boy, Arteta close to 700 million spent. Should be winning the league minimum. He's had it for easy to long now. It doesn't, geez, I'm all over the place. Sorry, people. If he doesn't win silverware next season, all of them need to be sacked. This is where I'm at. And the good old Darren Sullivan, as I said, he put me wide to what I'd say was about October, November last year. He says, my arms are out. I'm just keeping Arteta at his distance. We're in the middle of a league now. We just get on with it, see where we go, and we'll look at things at the end of the season. No matter what we say or do, Arteta is here. He's going to be starting the whole league season. They're not going to sack him now. There's nothing we can say or do. I 100% agree with that. It's winning leagues now. It's going into the last 16 semi-finals of the Champions League. If that doesn't happen, they have to sack him because this is nearly into $1 billion that they've spent already. Absolute disgrace. He has it all to do. Exactly. Just read out a few of these before I get people in. Just bear with me a few seconds. Early doors football. Check that guy out. Absolute legend. I've seen him with old school Gunner last night. Excuse me. Big up everyone. Yeah. And he's just saying great ones in the chat. Mane, the legend, the senior analyst here. Evening all should be fun. Let's hope. Hopefully it is. Big up, and everyone's just saying hello to each other. 1 second. As best as we can be. Yeah. That's it. Hold on. Yeah, Xhaka, one good season out of 7. Part of a team that lost 10-2 to Bayern. Disgraceful. The club and the fans, 2 trophies out of a possible 27. Bang average player. Goodbye. You will not be missed. And that's actually one of the topics I've actually written down here. I'm ready to rock and roll, people. Stuff written down. You're not getting away with anything. Smash the likes up. OSG in the house. Big up, man. Del Boy. Boom. Del Boy. Big up, Dave. Yes, respect. And all the boys. Nearly there. Or am I? Jesus, I'm fucking flat out here. Evening, Del Boy. Cheers, early doors. Yeah, grand. Whoop, Jamino's in the house. Just wanted to shout out a few thing. Oops, Del Boy's on. Yeah, exactly. I'm on time for once. And it says as soon as that button hit 30, I was there hitting it. You know what I mean? Smash the likes up. And as I'm smashing the likes up, we're going to get a few of the boys in here. And we're going to start off with Manny in the house. How are you keeping, mate?
All good, all good. It's been a long time since I've been on, and it's wonderful to be on a show with you where we're not, discussing the post-mortem after a win, after a loss, or, celebrating after a win. And obviously, this transfer window has been the subject of a lot of conversation. I've been speaking with quite a few people, had one or two streams myself, and look, I still get the feeling, Del, that we're sort of hyping up this window again because, there's a proverb which says that to a hungry man, there's no such thing as bad bread. If you are hungry enough for something, you will eat anything. You won't give a monkey's what it tastes like. We've been so desperate for this board to do something to show that they are serious about getting some players in very early and try and show that they have the intent. And I think when I was on Jez Collins' stream with Gracie May Brown, I think Gracie made the point when she said that at least part of the money for the transfers has come from the windfall that we've received from qualifying for the Champions League. So again, how much are the Cronkies actually spending? And that's a question, of course, that, for which we may never get the answer. And so for the purchases we've made, everyone's bigging up the Havertz purchase. We've once again signed another Chelsea cast-off. I only wonder who's left. It's a wonder that we didn't get Cesar Azpilicueta, although thankfully I think he's gone back to Spain to be with Atletico. And there are several other Chelsea players who've mugged off. I'm grateful that we didn't get any more of them. And the Rice deal is still something that doesn't really fill me with too much confidence, because if Manchester City were willing to shell out that much money to get his fellow Irish/Englishman Jackie Grealish, why weren't they willing to continue the fight for Declan Rice? I get the feeling, and I don't know if either you or Darren will agree with me, but maybe City pulled a fast one on us by saying, you know what, you want him that much, spend whatever money you don't have, put yourselves in some peril, you can have him. We've got Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea, and we're still going to cook your midfield this upcoming season. So I do have some hopes for Rice, but obviously with Granit Xhaka gone, it's good definitely in one way, because at least the midfield can be shaken up a bit, but there's still some uncertainty over the party. I do not believe that Jorginho Frello should be used as a starting midfielder. He's much more effective coming off the bench, as we've seen. And we should have made an effort to get Caicedo, but now he could be going to Chelsea. We still don't know what we're going to do about the striker problem. I really don't have enough faith in Gabriel Jesus to effectively lead the line and start scoring more goals to put him in contention for a golden boot. And Timber's a decent purchase. But apart from that, it's not really hasn't been as great a transfer window as we can believe it is. I think Carl's just nailed it with his comment right there. The signing of Havertz is a pitiful 1 out of 10. City were supposedly never in for him, nor any other big club, but it reminds me, of course, of Aaron Ramsdale. Nobody would want to touch him with a barge pole, but Arteta thought he was perfect for us. Timber, 5 out of 10, but selling Xhaka was probably the best thing we could possibly do. And then, of course, the prospect of selling Florian Balogun. We're demanding 50 million bob for him. I don't know what we're planning on doing with him. I still don't know what we're going to do with Ethan Nwaneri. So I'm going to adopt Darren's approach and say the jury's out on this one. And for all those people who are still, happy about the way things are going and are saying Edu's cooking, well, we all know he can make a decent Brazilian barbecue, but he's not really cooking. And as far as I'm concerned, the proof of the cooking is firmly in the eating.
Well, here, as I said, I don't know if you've seen one of my transfer show things that I've done. It says the only thing he's cooking is fucking eggs on a grill. You know what I mean? It's not working.
He's Brazilian. He should cook up a mean steak. I mean, Brazilians love their meat. I should know.
Yeah. Thank you, Manny. And Darren, you were next in, mate. How are you keeping? And I hope you're having a good summer, mate.
Yeah, busy, mate. Very busy. Keeping well, thank you. And watching proceedings unfold in front of me. Transfer window. At least there's one little bit of credit that at least we've done a bit of business a bit earlier than the 31st of August. But unfortunately, I do have concerns, like a lot of fans, that, let's be honest, who would have thought before the buying and the activity started, we would even be looking at Kai Havertz? Where did we get that one from? And the answer is, shortly before that, weren't we after Mason Mount and got told, no, he's off to Man United, perhaps? And then I can just picture Edu, Garlic and Vinay leaving the Chelsea office and then going, hang on, guys, hang on. What about Kai Havertz? Would you like him? And has then a phone call gone into Arteta and then they've said, here, Arteta, they've offered us Havertz. And then we buy him for 65 million. And then there's rumours that we're going to play him in midfield. He's not a midfielder. He's a striker. I've looked him up on YouTube because I'm not a Chelsea fan, obviously. I don't know what his strengths and weaknesses are. I've seen him play a few games and he ain't really done much at all. So when I have looked at his footage and clips on YouTube, I'm seeing him knocking goals in the air, in the penalty area, which is something we don't do. But here's the thing, right? Here's what my concerns are. Arteta is living in his little own world of how he processes a team, move the ball about quickly and all this. I'm not convinced we're going to play Havertz to his best strengths, which seems to be him floating in the air because he's 6'3" in that penalty box and knocking goals in with his head. That seems to be his biggest skill and his biggest attribute. So we should be using that. Now, if we had a good manager who doubled up as a coach like George Graham, he would be able to coach these players and bring the best out of them. But as I argue with Arteta fans on social media, name me one good player that Arteta has actually brought on. And the answer I'll get is, yeah, but you must admit that he's improved all of them because we finished second. No, answer the question. Yeah, answer the question. Who has Arteta improved? So is Arteta going to get 65 million Havertz, right, and stick him out in left midfield where he's gangly, 6'3"? He's not a skillful player. I've never seen him doing his skills. So what's he going to do? He ain't going to do nothing, is he? And when he turns up and does his interview, he sits there and he goes, I'm actually really pleased to be joining a family club. Well, what do you mean by joining a family club? Everton are the family club. And guess what? Everton are the victims, one of the biggest victims in the Premier League, narrowly avoiding relegation nearly every season and being bang average and mid-table. Perhaps Mr. Havertz thinks he's arrived and thinks, the pressure was on at me on the bridge. I had to win trophies and deliver. Oh, it's nice now. Got a nice little retirement home at the Emirates where I can just chillax. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from Havertz, right? So moving on to Declan Rice, we're getting all this hype. He's got a sign yet. It looks like it's done. But that should have been done 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we could have easily lost that signing to Man City. Let's not kid ourselves. Because if they really wanted him, they'd have gone crash bang wallop. Here's 120 million. And Edu, Garlic, Vinay, all the rest of them, they'd have been off. They'd have walked out. And it got to a stage where I think them 3 that I've just mentioned, if they were involved in the deal, have probably thought, oh shit, Man City have done a runner. Now, if we mess this up and we don't deliver, right, how are we going to explain to our fan base now Man City have done one? Because normally our excuses when we miss out on a big name signing is, we tried. We tried. We tried, but we were outbid. We tried. So the last one now is obviously Timber. Don't know much about the lad. That would seem to be the most proportionately sensible priced negotiated signing out the 3 of them. Rice is over the odds 100 million, but if you want something that we need, we ain't got a proper strong midfielder that is an anchor man. Rice will be an anchor man for us. I think he'll do well for us. I'm not going to say he's going to win us the Champions League or the Premier League, but I think he's an upgrade on what we've got at the minute. I'm delighted Jack has gone. I should really be out having a party now he's gone, but I've decided to come on here on this stream anyway because I ain't been on one for a while.
Yeah.
But so I'll people are giving ratings in the chat, and I just want to correct one person who put, I can't remember what their name was. They just put a comment in here saying Xhaka had one good season. Wrong. He had a half a good season. He banged goals in up to the World Cup to get himself in the Switzerland team for the World Cup, and then he down tools, and then he probably spoke to his wife over a bit of a barbecue and said, "Oh, let's go to Germany now." So good riddance to bad rubbish, Xhaka. You've done nothing for our club. You're a disgrace. You was in it for yourself, and you let us down so many times. I'm delighted you've gone, and I hope that perhaps we get Bayer Leverkusen in one of the rounds, and we deal out some proper punishment. Perhaps we bash you up 5-1, and nothing would give me better pleasure than to see that.
Go from there. Yeah, no,
and just think, Darren. When we got Granit Xhaka, we should have gotten N'Golo Kante instead. And look what happened to him when he moved to Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and look, I'm going to bring in my favourite actor in the whole world, Denzel Washington. Big up, mate. How are you keeping?
If I had his money, I'd be very happy. That
well, come here.
Me.
I'm talking about the other fella there with the shades.
Yeah,
there's
go,
Denzel Washington's here.
The Irish one and the English one.
Yeah.
Static, how
Kyle.
are you keeping, brother?
Yeah, good. Kyle, you go first. Go on.
No, go ahead, Static.
Go on, Static, you jump in.
All right. Well, I was here first, wasn't I? Is that it? Okay, it's good, boys. First of all, I'm good, boys. I hope you're all well. I hope you guys are all enjoying your summer. You were going to... I don't know if we would talk about Xhaka. I'll talk about him in a second. First of all...
Well, just basically, I'm just doing a sort of how's everyone and stuff like that. And then what I'm going to do is I have a load of stuff written down here, and I'm just going to give everyone their opportunity to sort of talk about it. Like, have you had a busy summer or everything all right?
Yeah, everything's good. It was actually my birthday a few weeks ago. So, things have been good. So, it's been good summer. So, yeah, life's good. It's good just to tune... Yeah, it's good to tune out from Arsenal. Just a season, long season, long season.
Because it's frustrating and stuff like that. And as I was like, on holidays and stuff, and you're looking at the stuff and you're getting stuff done and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But Kyle, next up, how are you, brother?
Yeah, all things going good there, boy. As a matter of fact, I'm actually moving houses here, so I'm up to my eyeballs moving stuff around, and it's never easy moving from one house to another. So, but these things have to happen there, boy. Hopefully I'm moving to the house now that I want to be for the rest of my life. Fingers crossed. So, on that note, things are going good, but it's the moving part and trying to work around this, and it's a nightmare. But I'll get it done eventually. But other than that, the summer has been good. Things are going good there, boy. Apart from missing you, brother, you're a man. You're like Tom Cruise, there, boy. You're like Mission Impossible. Every time I see you, you're in a different part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that, all right.
This YouTube thing must be good for some of us, then, boy.
It's paying the bills. But geez, you're moving house anyway. Well, if I needed someone to give me a hand moving stuff, it's definitely you, because you're a big man and you can move a lot of stuff, Big up to you. Warren, you were next up. What's the crack with you, mate? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. How are you? How's everyone? I hope everyone's had a good summer so far, and that continues. I'm all right. Bit concerned about what's going on at Arsenal. I don't know anything about this Timber fella, but I don't know. I've heard good reports about him, but I've never seen him play. So it's a bit difficult to know, really. Kai Havertz, no. I just don't understand what the logic is behind that one. And Declan Rice, I think, potentially could be a good one for us, but don't know. I'm not 100% convinced about him either.
Well, do you know what I just want to cut across you because it's one of the questions that you've actually mentioned before, and I want to get into it because it's on top of my list. And Steve Round, the coach, who was at Arsenal, he was at United. I think he was at Everton with Sam Allardyce and stuff like that. He's Arteta's right-hand man, he's second right-hand man, apart from AirPod Albert. He has left the club on mutual consent. So we're a coaching staff down. And you've always been critical of Arsenal's coaching staff, saying it needs a shake-up, it needs a, and I'm just sort of trying to be in the middle here, 50-50. Is Arteta not doing a job there, saying, right, I feel there's a weakness in our coaching staff. My job is probably on the line now. I need to act on this. He's acted today. Mutual consent means to me he probably had a word and says, mate, you're not good enough. Let's just part ways. What do you make of that move?
Well, listen, I heard what my good friend Darren said earlier. 100% agree with what he said about how many of these players has Arteta actually improved. And I don't think it's just him. I think the whole lot of them. I can't see which of these players that are in this first team squad have actually improved. And that Steve Round, I think I'm right in saying I might be wrong. And if I am wrong, I apologise. But didn't he get sacked from Man United?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But then why are we giving him a job? If he wasn't good enough for United, then why is he good enough for us? You know? And I think we need to overhaul the coaching team because it's not doing what it should be doing, i.e. bringing these players up a level. And they also need to look at the facility because I think there's a big issue with the training ground, which is sort of linked to the coaching because people keep getting injured all the time. You know, before Partey came here, he was never getting injured, but now he can't stop getting injured. And, you know, it's a bit of a worry. Emil Smith-Rowe's another one, you know, and it's just, I'm concerned about it, mate. And I think a lot of it's got to do with the coaching of the players. So I think it's a good thing that Steve Round has gone. And I applaud Arteta for that because, you know, it does need to be overhauled because they're just not, you know, you look at the players, which one of them actually are going up levels? For me, they're like, are either going forward very slowly or plateauing. You know, and, you know, you look at how Phil Foden has developed since he came into Manchester City. Right, and he came into the team there. And then you look at our players who are about the same age as him. The difference in the development is huge. But, you know, I think it's a big part of it. You know, it's not always about going out and spending hundreds of millions of pounds on players. It's about making the best of what you've got as well. And, you know, we've got a responsibility to these players. It's their careers and whatnot. And, you know, we should be providing them with all the right tools and whatnot to, you know, make a success of their careers. And I do worry about the youngsters at the club as well because, you know, what sort of grounding are they getting, you know, for their future careers if they're not being developed properly? You know? So, yeah, that's what I think about that, mate.
Like, Manny, I'll come to you with that sort of this Steve Round, the coaches sort of thing at Arsenal as well. Like, you know, we've all been excited with the transfers in, out, who's leaving and all that. Like, what are you making on the transfer or the coaching sort of side of things? you know, I said it earlier on in the start. Could it be possibly Carzola coming in to replace him? I don't really want that because I want an experienced coach, like, you know, someone who's won stuff, not just Carzola, you were my mate and I played with you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Cazorla did, win quite a bit of stuff for the Arsenal. Anyone who remembers the 2014 FA Cup final with against Hull will never forget that free kick, which started the comeback. And then, of course, there was only one Aaron Ramsey. And I remember saying on Jez's stream, I think it was yesterday, about the Cup finals, that if it hadn't have been for those horrible injuries, including that disgusting Achilles one, he would have sealed his place as a bona fide legend for both Arsenal and the Spanish national team. But then, you know, if ifs and buts were sweets and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Now, that being said, given that he's just announced his retirement, and here's another worrying thing. Carl Rossi has just made another wonderful comment. Carl, I love seeing your comments on Dell's streams, mate. You really add to the stream, I have to say. I'm not trying to, belittle anyone else, but this really comes to it. Jack Wilshere could get a promotion and end up joining the senior coaching staff full time. And if that happens, well, we are well and truly buggered, to put it mildly. And as you've said, with Cazorla having hardly any experience, having just finished his playing career, the prospect of him coming in does not fill me with confidence. Look, we've had to make some changes, obviously, in the coaching setup, but it's going to take a lot more than giving Steve Round his P45 to herald a huge sea change around the club. Because I take a look at the coaching structure in itself, and I just wonder, it isn't even just the fact that players are getting injured, as Warren quite rightly pointed out. But when we were going through that horrible run where we were just losing games and dropping points left, right, and centre, losing that advantage and contriving to lose to Brighton at home, draw against Southampton at home, lose to Nottingham Forest away, and so many other, shameful incidents. What exactly were the coaching staff doing then? What was Arteta doing then? And why isn't Arteta being made, at least partially responsible for what happened to us last season? People are so willing to give him the credits and the plaudits when things go well, but why isn't he being given enough brickbats when things go wrong? Simple, because everyone's all in on it. They love him so much. They consider him the best looking Spaniard we know. Well, bugger that. Cesc Fabregas, who also recently retired, was better looking to me. He had a baby face, a much more adorable smile. Anyone who says Mikel Arteta is the best looking Spaniard we know, do some research. But there needs to be actually a sea change in the coaching structure, and it really only will start with the top, I'm afraid. All this talk about giving Steve Round his P45 is really just, a Band-Aid saying that somebody should go. It's a little bit like, you've got to create an impression that you're taking positive action to, bring about some change, and just selecting one person for the chop. It's a little bit like that Roald Dahl story, The Witches, where every single year the Grand High Witch makes it a point to fry one of those witches to keep the other ones on their toes. So it could very well be what's going on over here. And the prospect of Arteta bringing in one of his mates, jobs for the boys, I'm sorry, that doesn't really fill me with much confidence. So, look, again, as with the Steve Round sacking, the proof of everything will be in how the season pans out and how everything sort of, materializes as the season goes by. Will we see an improvement in coaching to the extent that players won't be dropping injured like flies? Will we see an improvement in the coaching in the sense that the players will have a better sense of how and when to play the way they'd like to play? I mean, I know that Darren enjoys his cricket, and we've seen with the Ashes series going on that Bazball is under threat because England don't seem to know when and when not to play those expansive shots. So in the same way, good teams will develop a plan B and start to learn how to play. But again, back to the coaching, it really will depend on how things go this season. And the most important thing is that if we fail to reach our targets, as all six of us will agree, then the biggest change in the coaching structure has got to come at the top. And as Lee Gunner would say, Arteta, Palagalle or whatever, Arteta, or whatever he'd say in Spanish, I don't know. But at the end of the season...
I can answer that. Sorry, yeah? Mate, I can answer that. Fuera.
Yeah.
Arteta Fuera.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Darren,
Right.
I'll
Palagalia might be more the Latin American term.
Yeah.
I'll come to you, Darren, on the coaching sort of side of things with Round. Can you give credit to Arteta at all for sort of shaking it up a bit? Does he know it's his decisive season?
No, I can't give Arteta any credit there. My first question would be, well, why did you employ him in the first place? What credentials did he have? But it takes one to know one, doesn't it? Arteta never had any credentials. I've always been staggered when I've seen Steve Round and thought, who is this bloke? What has he done? What is his background? And I know you do get coaches that ain't played professionally, like at Premier League and the old First Division level. They are about, but yeah, you look at who we've had in the past, like Don Howe. He was a manager. He weren't a manager, but he was a great coach, for example. You used to see him on the TV coaching the youngsters in the 70s, getting out the wing, chipping balls in, go on, son, chip the ball in, chip the ball in, chip. And this is why I mentioned George Graham, because not only was he a great manager, he was a great coach. I can remember so many players that started off in one position, then he reviewed them and said, you're better off over there. Like Mickey Thomas, believe it or not, started off as a left back, but Graham saw he was much better as a box-to-box midfielder. So go and get a proper coach. But see, this is why the Cronkies don't know what they're doing, because they're not football people. They've given Arteta the job because he's their little puppet that they can string along. And therefore, they've got all the control. And Arteta doesn't really know what he's doing either. Whereas, can I ask a question? Who is AirPod Albert, for example? And where did he come from? Ghent or something? Not knocking Ghent as a club.
Genk in Belgium.
Small club, but, are they big enough for Arsenal Football Club? I don't think they are. I think Arteta, or whoever was made manager 3 or 4 years ago, could have come in and got much better coaches than AirPod Albert and Steve Round. And, if he's come from Man United, well, they ain't been our best friends, have they, in the last 20 or 30 years?
Yeah.
Sabotage? It's probably been a bit paranoid, but, Steve Round, I mean, who is he? I used to look at him on a touch like, Steve Round. What is I'd identify with people that George Graham had on board, and ex-club people, get them in, get somebody in with a bit of pedigree, who has been a good coach, who has improved players. But it's just another chaotic scenario. Has he fallen out with Arteta and that's why he's been given the elbow? I don't know. It's just another thing another little thing, warning sign, red flag. Hang on, here we go. Well, why? If this process is so trustworthy, why is Arteta sacking one of his big lieutenants?
Like the question, right? I have two questions for you is about the coach, and I'll ask Static one and I'll ask Kyle one, because Darren, you actually just popped something into my head there. The timing of this sacking or whatever it is, the elbow, it's pre-season training. This is when you need all your coaches involved. They have to be here now. So the timing of this for me is a bit dodgy. This is when you need all your coaches, because we've seen the YouTube channels of the Arsenal and they're all coming back to training and they're going through their fitness stuff. Why wasn't this done at the end of the season?
Yes,
why was it not done, a week or whatever after?
Yeah.
Did you have an answer for that, Static?
I don't have a genuine answer for this, but I totally agree with you. Why was this decision not made immediately after the last game of the season? At least just get the changes done immediately and quickly. It's just, instead of we delay until now, just days before our first pre-season match. I totally disagree with that. It's just the timing. I totally disagree with the timing of it. It should have been done months ago. It's just,
it
doesn't sit well with me, boys.
On the Del Boy channel, we're all here for solutions. This is why we're tuning in, people. And here's Del Boy coming up with another solution. I'm just going to pop this at you, Static, and I want to hear your instant reaction. This guy is an assistant manager. He has international experience. He has managerial experience. And I'm going to shout out his name, Thierry Henry. Would you take him as a coach?
Henry.
Belgium, Monaco. I'm just throwing it there.
No. I wouldn't. Even as assistant coach, I wouldn't. Sorry, I wouldn't. If I want, even just with an assistant coach, anyone that's not has no connections with Arsenal, just because. I mean, you only have to look at what's going on with Arteta. Just you bring him in. Oh, he's an ex-Arsenal player. Oh, let's give him all the love. I don't want to go through that again with the next manager, coach, whatever. Like Paddy Vieira, Henry. No, thank you. Sorry. Not even assistant coach, no way.
That's fair enough. Kyle,
we'll never get rid of them. We'll never get rid of them. That's why.
Yeah. Kyle, I'd ask you the same question, mate. Why was it done now? And would you take Thierry Henry, or is there anyone else that you'd come into your mind there?
You're on mute, Kyle. Mute.
First of all, there's no way I take Thierry Henry. Leave Thierry Henry's statue outside the stadium. Leave his legacy behind him. That's it. As the second greatest player ever to play for Arsenal Football Club after Dennis Bergkamp. No, I don't want him to coach that way. If he's a coach and we have a bad season and the fan base is turning on Thierry Henry, nah. The same with Paddy Vieira, no. Tony Adams, no. But I do agree for coach staff, I do think that we should get a few ex-players in around us that way that know something about the game, about the history of the club and what it means to win. But when I talk about that, I talk about second-level players, not the likes of Henry or Bergkamp or Paddy Vieira, Mark Overmars, none of them elite players. Well, what would be wrong with taking in the likes of, I'll just throw a name out there, the likes of Gilles Gourmandi. He was a very important player, an influential player for Arsenal Football Club. Gilles Gourmandi is never mentioned. I remember Gourmandi coming in there. He was never a first-team player. But he come in, he could play centre-back, he give it his all. He played midfield, give it his all. He was an important player. Why not take in the likes of them fellas into the coaching? I do remember, Darren might correct me there, and Warren might correct me. I think Gourmandi might have been a scout at one stage for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, he still is, isn't he? I think he's still...
Is he still a scout?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
still doing it. Yeah,
I take Gourmandi in as a coach. So
yeah.
it's the likes of them kind of players. I only mentioned Gourmandi, but that kind of level player I would have in at the coaching staff.
Yeah, not a worldie, but someone level-headed and,
Yeah, someone like that, Darren, I think will make a big difference.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, Dale, going to have to shoot, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on again.
Darren, it's good to see you again.
Yeah. In great company with great Arsenal supporters who really want the best for the club.
You're a legend, bro.
Cheers, boys.
Legend, mate. Respect you, Darren.
But then I say that why obviously there's had to be a big argument. And this is the reason why this Rofed is gone. Because once again, Arteta is like that. I think I can see arguments going on that way. I'm not expecting anything big this season. Let me say something here. Let me get this off my chest. I'm listening to a lot of bullshit that way about this transfer market. Everybody is saying that this is a great transfer market.
Oh, no.
We've just spent 200 million on 3 players that's not going to win us the Premier League. Declan Rice.
Thank you.
It's 105 million on Declan Rice. Why? Because he's English. It's an embarrassment. 105 million. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Is he better than Thomas Partey? I don't think so. So let's everybody just calm down here. Kai Havertz. Lads are comparing this man to Dennis Bergkamp. What's going on? 19 goals, 7 assists in 3 seasons at Chelsea Football Club.
Wow.
And this fella is the next Dennis Bergkamp. I know we're talking about Timber. And we're making Timber out to be the new Tony Adams. People need to calm down. We're living in a society that people overhype these things and
Oh my
overhype
God.
these players and makes these players out to be something that they're not. Is this squad going to win us the Premier League? Is my question. And what I say is, with 200 million on the 3 players that we've gotten, no is the answer. And I'll be sitting here at the end of next season saying the same thing. It's embarrassing what's going on. So, am I happy? No, not happy. And it's about time someone spoke out about it, because everybody else seems to be happy. Well, I ain't happy, because I know the reality of the situation is, come the end of next season, with these 3 players included, we will nowhere be near winning a Premier League title. We'll be lucky to be in the top 4 once again. Yeah, that's right. The famous top 4. I am delighted about one thing. Let's celebrate that clown Shaka, that disgrace, is finally gone. Poison throughout the club, that fella. 7 years too late, that boy. And let me correct, I'm going to say something else. People raving that was great last season. What did he do? What did he achieve? Nothing. Good luck to him. Disaster. Absolute disaster. One of the worst players ever to wear an Arsenal jersey. Good riddance to him.
Yeah, like I agree with that. Like, you know, it's he done himself for me when he just threw the captain's armband on the ground, because he disrespected the Arsenal badge that day, and I can't get over that. Like, you know, a player that, a player that we sort of look with high standards, and you're just throwing a badge on the ground.
It's interesting you mentioned that. Now, Dale, it's interesting you say that, because both you and Kyle, being passionate Irishmen, I want to ask you this question. You talk about disrespect of the badge, disrespect of the jersey. We just signed a fella right now who literally is a hate figure throughout among a lot of Irish fans, including our very own Jaminho, for how he snubbed Ireland for England, just like Grealish did. As passionate Irishmen, are you willing to tolerate Rice as long as he plays well for us, or do you still consider him to be, miscreant, for want of a nicer word?
Manny, you can add 95% of the Celtic support to that group of people as well. We can't stand him either.
I'll tell you what he is, Manny. He's what would I say? How would I say this? You know what? I'll say it as it is, because that's the way I am. You'd be better off playing for Ghana than playing for the Republic of Ireland. We are a joke of a nation. I went up there. Del Boy wasn't with me. Del Boy was too busy living a James Bond lifestyle up in France there a couple of weeks ago. I went up on a bus with 30 lads to watch Ireland against Gibraltar.
He couldn't have been on His Majesty's Secret Service, could he?
I was the only fan outside the Aviva Stadium that was protesting for Kenny Oaks. And everybody else delighted with him. So, to be quite honest with you, he's better off playing for England, because Ireland are absolute dirt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I put it that way as well myself. Like, you know, look, I'm sick of the Irish support. Like, you know, that this shite gets the standards, and I'm going to do a stream about it next week, and there will be a lot of cursing in it. There will be a lot of anger in it, because the mentality's on the floor. You know what I mean? And I won't go into it now, you know, but it's just ridiculous. TJ, how's it going first, mate? Thanks for waiting. You've been in the back room sipping on champagne. I hope the cigars were okay in the green room while you were there. You're on the dry.
I'm on the dry.
Yeah, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good. I was just remembering, Kyle, were you on the American Idiot show at the same time that game was going on? Because you were in the bus the last time you were on.
I'm in the bus a lot of time, teacher.
Yeah, that's
outside of the stadium, though. Outside of the stadium, it was hilarious. I was just like, he kept showing us the bus, and I was just dying laughing because nobody was there. And Ireland was actually up. Ireland was winning that game.
It was still on half time. I tell you the truth, rubbish.
But
hilarious.
TJ, I just want to touch on the base. I have a few questions here, and I'm going to ask them around. And it's just about Shaka.
Who?
He's gone.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you make of his sort of tenure, like his 7 years at Arsenal? Like, are we being harsh on him?
No. Next question. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's one of those things where people don't forget the past very easily. Like, you can't erase 6 years of mediocrity with 1 year of slightly above mediocrity. We still didn't win anything, guys. And you can still go back to that Liverpool game and the fact that Granit Xhaka couldn't keep his head on, and he woke up the Anfield crowd because he couldn't keep his head on at the right time. I appreciate his grit. I appreciate how he attempts to lead teams. But what is
for Switzerland, but
yeah. What does he, at the end of the day, what did he provide us? A couple of good goals and a lot more terrible red cards. Like, I haven't forgotten, guys. I haven't forgotten that league game against Liverpool last season. I haven't forgotten it, but all the fan base has. Like, I'm totally fine with him leaving. Like, usually, Del Boy, I wake up, I stretch, I prepare myself mentally to check the Instagram chat because I know there's going to be some bad news. And the first news I see today is Xhaka left. So it was one of those days where I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a great day because at the end of the day, you can say what you want about Declan Rice. You can say what you want about Kai Havertz. These guys will do more for Arsenal. I'll say it right now. These guys will do more for Arsenal in the first year than our Swiss ghost did for 7. You can clip that. We will win a trophy next season with this guy. Period. We will. Granit Xhaka, have fun in the German league. You can finish mid-table there too.
Yeah, I can just imagine that theme song from American Dad playing. Good morning, USA. I've got a feeling it's going to be a wonderful day. You remember that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I watch that show all the time, and it's one of those things where
good show. It's a good show.
It's a hilarious show. No, it's one of those things where guys like lately the news has been okay. Just the fact that we got Rice over the line, but I absolutely echo what Kyle was saying about Kai Havertz. I am not convinced. I'm not convinced. It seems like Arteta will be able to get a tune out of this guy, but where is he going to play? I don't see him walking into the starting 11. He won't.
The thing about it is, right, and it is on one of my questions I'm going asking, but the money that he's on per week, apparently we're hearing 330,000 per week. So he's on an Ozil Aubameyang contract.
No way.
Robbing a living.
He plays, people. I don't care what the fuck you say. He is going to play. If he's on that wages, he's playing. It's the end of. And all these experts I'm seeing, this is the position he's going to be in. He can play up front and all this stuff. But then you see, like, let's say in a formation of 4-3-3 or whatever way these super fans are doing, and they're putting them Rice in the middle, Havertz on the right, and Odegaard on the left. You know, I'm sorry, I don't get this. I really don't. Like, where can we fit him in? Because he is playing, people. Now, look, sorry, T, I'll give you the floor now in a second. And when a player signs for Arsenal, I don't care what they've done, their past and stuff like that, and I have said it, I will support them. I'll give them their chance. I'm going to. But I'm just trying to understand this signing. Why? And then go ahead, TJ.
No, and the last thing I'm going to say, because I think I'm taking up too much time at this point, is Kai Havertz does not, if you really think about it, especially if we hang on to Thomas Partey, you have 12 or 13 players ahead of him in any given position. And if you ask any Chelsea fan, I've been watching podcasts and I've been asking Chelsea fans on call-in shows that I go on. I ask them, where does Kai Havertz play? Where does he play? And a majority of them are like, anywhere. Center forward, garbage. Center attacking mid, not great. And he plays on the right, by the way. He doesn't play on the left. So if you're thinking that he's going to get in over Martin Odegaard on the right, I have a bridge to sell you. And on the left, there are plenty of options that I think would be better. Trossard would be better. If we end up hanging on to Partey, Rice would be better in that position.
Gabriel
Because
Martinelli.
Rice can alternate. Gabriel Martinelli could be better in that position. I'm talking left center mid, Manny, more than anything. And it's one of those things where unless there's going to be a major shakeup in the formation that Arteta plays outside of like a modified 4-3-3, where does he fit in? I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, well, like, this is the thing. Warren, do you have the answer? Because apparently we're looking to get rid of Partey as well. Saudi Arabia and Juventus are apparently in for him. I don't think he's too keen on going to Saudi Arabia. But what are we going to do here? What do you make of it? Warren, I think you're on mute there, mate. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to know where he's going to play because he doesn't really seem to excel anywhere he plays. And then to be paying him that amount of money and to be paying that amount of money to get him in the first place, I just think it's absolute lunacy. I do not understand why the club has done it. And I think the only real position I can see him playing is in the midfield, because is he really going to play him ahead of Jesus up front? Because that's the only other position he could realistically play, because he's not going to drop Saka for him. Because like you said, Dil, if he's on that amount of money, he's starting every week.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get in the team ahead of Saka. And then you've then got Trossard and Martinelli on the other side. Is he going to get in the team ahead of them two? If he does, it's going to be a huge problem. And then you have to go to the midfield. So the midfield, he could play alongside Rice and Odegaard. But then why would you do that when you've got a young fella in the squad who's easily better than him? I'm talking about Emil Smith-Rowe. I'd much rather have Emil Smith-Rowe playing it alongside Rice than him, because I think Emil Smith-Rowe's got more physicality about him. I just don't understand where he's going to play, because, like you say, Del, if he's on that salary, he's definitely starting. So the only way that the only thing I can think is that Arteta is thinking about radically redesigning the formation that we play. But then the question is, what formation is he going to get the team playing? And who's going to be playing in that position? So it's a mystery. And when the pre-season games start and the league campaign starts, it will all probably come to light. But looking at it, I just can't figure it out, mate. I'm baffled. And I'm baffled as to why we signed him, because I don't think he's any good. I think there's better players at the club we've already got that are better. And we've just wasted 65 million quid. That money could have been better spent on getting us Caicedo, getting us a couple of good backup centre-backs and a decent striker. I just find it baffling.
Like, it's exactly what you said there. Like, I would have rather that money go to Caicedo. You know what I mean? We paid, 65 million, plus all this money. Can we not just sort of put that towards his transfer fee, 80 million or whatever? Kyle, jump in there, mate.
That's why we have a serious problem here, and nobody's talking about it. Serious problem is we haven't got one striker at the club.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to spend 60 million and £330,000 a week on nice Kai Havertz. Instead of going out and getting us a striker that's going to score 25 goals a season. Until we score 25 goals a season striker, we will be winning nothing, my friends. Zero. Nothing. And as for Havertz and where he's going to be playing, it's very simple. Arteta is putting Havertz into Xhaka's position in midfield. That's where he's going. And thereby, you're 100% right. Havertz is on £330,000 a week. He is 100% playing from the very start of the season. And Carl Rossi, or one of the lads put in there in the chat that the fan base is saying give Havertz a chance. A man on £330,000 a week gets no chances. He starts straight away, or for me personally, I will be on his case from day one. No excuses. We're going into next season with a team worth nearly 700 million. Almost $1 billion. Now, it's time to win the league. If not, heads have to roll.
It was a question as well. I have here loads of questions written down, but I'm just frustrated with the Kai Havertz thing. And
can I have my say, Del Boy, about it?
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
Oh my God. It's definitely by far the worst decision we've ever made. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. I am still beyond furious that we've actually pursued him and we've actually signed him. I cannot believe we've signed Kai Havertz. I mean, you pick a guy who you only have to compare him to James Maddison in the last 3 years in the league only, in the English Premier League. Maddison's light years ahead of him. He's been phenomenal. He's been reaching double figures for goals and assists combined last 3 consecutive league seasons. And Havertz doesn't even come anywhere near Maddison, and yet Maddison's gone to Tottenham. I can't believe we didn't get him there. But it's from what Arteta said, he's going to play him in midfield. Oh, great. Great. Oh, we're in big trouble. Big trouble. But I'm going to be controversial here. Don't be surprised if we don't sign a striker and we put him as a centre forward. I can see it happening.
False 9 all over again, eh?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I put out a poll there. I think it was last week. It was for Zaha. Right now, don't shoot the messenger here, people. Relax.
I'll take him. I'll take him.
Well, do you know what? Out of that, I have 70.
I'd rather him than Havertz.
64% of people wanted Arsenal to sign him. Manny, would you be able to elaborate on that when you're finished colouring in your Kai Havertz colouring book?
Knock it off, Del! If you take a look at the comments, I remember adding something over there, and I hope you get to read it, but in case you don't, I will probably shout it out. It really has all the makings of a certain other transfer, which was very similar, also a Chelsea reject, who ended up being obliged to play in every single game, and we all know how that turned out. And believe it or not, he actually came on in the Europa League semi-final, replacing a bona fide striker. 3 guesses for who I'm talking about.
William.
Anyone? Of course. And the comment is there. With Kai Havertz, we've got nothing but William Borges vibes all over again. And so the prospect of either having to shoehorn him into the midfield or even worse, playing him as a false 9 does not fill me with any kind of confidence. And do not ever accuse me of having a Kai Havertz colouring book. I cannot stand the geezer. That was out of order.
But I couldn't resist, mate. I couldn't resist.
It's really funny.
Yeah, I understand. Only love between you and me, Del Boy, no matter what.
Yeah.
But so again, there's always something about these transfers that really makes some fans like us just, start to question why. The only one with which I can say I'm perfectly satisfied, maybe not perfectly, but at least thereabouts, is Timber. And to answer a few questions, he was actually a key defender for the Netherlands in their run to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, where they lost to Argentina on penalties. He was in that back three along with Virgil van Dijk and Nathan Ake. He isn't playing for the Dutch team now because Koeman wants a back four, but under Koeman, the Netherlands have been absolute tripe, it has to be said. But again, we're sort of starting this particular season signing a player like Havertz. Do we even have a plan for him? And this is really one thing that angers me so much. You do some research on a player that you're really interested in, you sort of want to sign him, not just to increase the profile of the club, but also to think how he can add to your team and what he can possibly do for your team. And it sort of goes back to what I think about the Rice situation. It's as if City allowed us to fall over ourselves just to get him, saying, we want him more. It's a bit like an auction. Let's offer more money. Going once, going twice, sold to the highest bidder, and we ended up being the highest bidder. And what if it, doesn't go to plan? We end up looking like more foolish than we actually are. And as I said, City with their new midfield, Kovacic with Rodri, De Bruyne, maybe John Stones and company, they're still going to cook us. But do we do any research on the type of players we want and how they're going to fit into our style? What exactly is Arteta trying to do? And does he have any plan for these players? If these players do not perform, is he still going to play them because their salary or their transfer fee demands it? And I'm going to come back to Wilfried Zaha at the moment. I would have taken him a couple of seasons ago. I just think that given that Carl, only laugh. Thank you.
Carl.
Yeah, if it had been 2 seasons ago, I would have said yes. But I think now he probably might be starting to get a little bit long in the tooth. He wasn't exactly at his best for Palace last season, despite the team's huge resurgence in form under Roy Hodgson. And I just think that, Emery wanted Zaha, but we ended up getting Nicolas Pepe, and that says it all. So I wouldn't necessarily mind him. I just don't know if he would necessarily be the best thing that we could have right now. But again, what sort of research are we doing on players? And I mentioned Unai Emery. He's made some really good moves in the transfer market, signing a few players, including Pau Torres from Spain. I don't know whether it's from Barcelona.
I would have taken him 100%. He's a good player.
Exactly.
Torres.
Exactly. And, when you have a coach like Emery who has the experience, who's coached at the highest level for a very long time, that is how you look at at the system you're trying to play, the faith you have in your system, what players you want to be in a part of your system, and what players you don't think will, cut the mustard. He should be getting rid of Felipe Coutinho. I believe Luca Digne will be on his way out. But of course, with Alex Moreno also injured, he might end up going into the market for 2 left backs, maybe Laporte from Manchester City, or even our own Kieran Tierney. Maybe Aston Villa might hijack him and say, you know what, let's have you as a part of Arsenal Villa, as it were, with Chambers and Martinez and company. But we just don't seem to have a plan when it comes to going into the transfer market. We fix our name on a player who might, by coincidence, be very highly valued, and you say, you know what, let's go in for him. It isn't the transfer fee that makes a player, it's the skill set that makes a player, but it's also how well he fits. And I do realize that when we got Aaron Ramsdale, no one would touch him with a barge pole. He so far manages to fit the system and has people, crowing over him saying what a great goalkeeper he is. I will still say, I don't care if you can land a goal kick on a sixpence and make a few camera saves. If your positioning is piss poor, I don't rate you as a goalkeeper at all. But I'm not going to digress. You have to do your research on players, what type of players you want to be in your team and be a part of your system. And while Emery has managed to do that, we still haven't. And it's the same mistake under Arteta that we're going to continue to make unless change is made. And we need to get ourselves a proper manager and back that manager who will at least have a Scooby-Doo, as we would say back in England, what he's doing.
Well, Kyle, I want to just ask you this question because I know you're all about strength and you're all about power and stuff like that and leaders, and you'd be pretty much the same as myself. But our first game of the season will be looking like in that sort of midfield role is Odegaard, Rice, and Kai Havertz. I think with one punch, I'd love to three of them out together. You know, you need power in the midfield. You know what I mean? You need strength, muscle. You know, are you confident with that midfield?
Tell why that midfield wouldn't win the Western League down here. You know, it's like let's put things in perspective here.
Facts.
You're talking about Odegaard for one of the names. Now, when it comes down to the redeal, our Mr. Captain Fantastic was missing. Now, you're looking behind him and you're looking at Kai Havertz. So when you're in the trenches there, boy, that I'm always talking about, and you're looking over the trenches and you have to run through the field to get to the other side without getting shot, or you're relying on your player, on the lads to help you with it, you're looking at Odegaard, he wouldn't be doing you any favours. And then you're looking at Kai Havertz. I wouldn't like to be left in the trenches with those two fellas to take the God on his truth there, boy. And then you're looking at Declan Rice. He played for West Ham. He won a Conference League title. He's after playing a few games for England and everybody has him hyped up to be the world's best. There, boy, it's embarrassing. It's a joke. And when we go into this new season and we have those three players in midfield, God help us. God help us is all I say.
Like,
Agreed.
I was only sort of thinking, like, you know, the other day is like, you know, well, it's pretty much is going to be our sort of midfield. But when you're going to the likes of Luton Town and, you know, Burnley, and it's the middle of winter time, it's pissing rain, it's freezing cold. This is when character sets in. This is when your leader sets in, you know, to get a result and get out of there. I think that these places that we're going to be going to in the winter time and cold weather and all that, they're going to put it up against our midfield. Like, I'm not even sure who the midfield of Luton is, but I can guarantee you, and Burnley, they're going to put it up against them. Go ahead, mate.
Sorry, I was just going to say, last season, that's what happened. You know, we struggled. Yeah. We couldn't even win against Everton away. We couldn't even beat Southampton home and away, for crying out loud. So it's just Arteta has a habit of struggling against teams in the bottom 10, doesn't he? I guarantee that's going to happen again this season. So, yeah. I mean, that's what cost us the league title, didn't it? So,
like, what's the like? Just while you're there, like, what is the story with us and Chelsea? Like, why are we like they're struggling with the FIFA, the FFP, right? We know they are because of the money that they've spent, and we go and we keep on backing them out. Willian, David Luiz, Czech, you know what I mean? Now Kai Havertz and so on and so on. Why are we doing this?
Good question. Your guess is as good as mine. Like, we never learn. We never learn when it comes to buying Chelsea rejects. It's just we don't learn our lesson. It's just like, if it didn't work for like the 5th time, the 6th time, what makes you think it's going to work out for the 7th, 8th time, and so on and so on? It's just I just can't believe this football club would even have the nerve to with Kai Havertz. Just like I'm just as stunned as you are, man, and everyone in the live chat. So it's just we never learn. Yeah. We just never learn. And can I just say, I'm very happy we have signed Declan Rice. I wanted him, and he's a great player. Is he world class? He's not quite there yet, but that's up to him if he can get up to that next level. Timber, I haven't seen enough of him to be convinced that he will do well for us. I saw a video which it's by a funny coincidence that not many YouTubers do upload videos of a player's mistakes. I was watching his defensive mistakes. Yeah, I've seen videos of him being a good passer and he's a good defender, but I've also seen a video of him where he's giving the ball away a lot. He's very bad in the air. He's not good in the air. his positioning is all wrong. So he's got a lot of work to do when he comes to Arsenal. So look, I do think it's a decent signing, but is it a good signing, a great signing? I'm not so sure, but I hope he does come, and I hope he does do extremely well for us. I really, really do. And I want to say this finally because I'm surprised no one's mentioned this. I'm very disappointed. We lost Maitland-Niles for free. I remember 2 years ago, Wolves were interested in signing him for £20 million, and we turned him down. Well done, Arsenal.
Yeah.
We were protecting his value.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Lot of good that did.
I want to Del Boy. Another thing is right. Let's get down to it. No point sitting around here talking crap. Let's get down to it. We're talking about the transfer market, and we're talking about the 3 signings. Static just said something there a minute ago about
Maitland-Niles, yeah.
So let me get something straight. I want to see more departures than what. There's not enough departures for me. I want to see more departures.
I agree.
There's 8 or 9 players around that squad that I want to see the back of. I'm delighted the Stack is gone. I'm delighted the Maitland-Niles is gone. I want to see more. Is Rob Holding gone, guys?
No.
Why is he not gone?
They're giving him a new contract. I'm only joking.
Oh, no.
No. I'm gonna have to run and hide if that was a real thing. Kyle might actually explode.
I want to see the back of Tommy Yasu. I want to see the back of Shevchenko. I want to see the back of what's his name? Kia Var. I've seen enough of him.
Kiwi.
I don't want him at Arsenal. Out. Lokongo. Is he gone, guys?
No.
No.
He didn't even do well at Crystal Palace.
No.
If any Crystal Palace are there, sorry, go on, Kyle. Go.
Is Balogun gone?
No.
Why are these lads not gone?
Come here.
Can I just say I'm going to interject here.
I want
keep
Balogun to
sell
stay.
Nketiah. Yeah, I agree, TJ.
Getting Nketiah out.
No, out.
What? Okay, I'm going to fight you on this one, Kyle. I'm fighting you on this one, Kyle. He scored. He kept up with Messi and Mbappe in the French league last season. Why don't we give him a shot?
He can keep up with he could keep up with Pele all he wants. He's not good enough for Arsenal football club.
Kyle, you know me. I agree with you, but do you honestly think we're going to bring in? Do you honestly think we're going to bring in Ivan Toney?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me ask Kyle this. Do you think we're going to
bring
bring Ivan Toney, for example, who's miles better than Balogun and Nketiah, obviously? But what do you think, Kyle?
Gentlemen, I'm going to say it straight up. We are here on this screen, and I like to think that the 6 of us here wants to win Arsenal to win the Premier League. True or false?
Of course, yeah.
Of course, yes.
Goes without saying.
Do you honestly think, mate, that we're going to win the Premier League with Balogun up centre forward?
No, but it used to be an
that
option. That's all I'm saying.
Is the answer I needed to hear. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, out. Good luck.
Out.
Well, here, Kyle, things aren't going to get better for you when I tell you the next player who I seen coming in the door. Okay, 2. I was looking at the Arsenal YouTube channel earlier on and the pre-season and all the lads coming in. The dog was there. Arsenal dog was the first one there, welcoming all the players back. And another player who's back in the door. I'm not joking here, by the way. I know.
Who's been looking after the dog there?
I saw it.
But what you call him? Mohamed El Neni.
And then
El Neni.
I bet he took the dog. I bet he took the dog, El Neni.
Oh my God!
Why is he there?
Sammy Lakanga. Pictures is and Cedric Suarez. Everybody, we all want Cedric Suarez in this team. Big deal.
They were there taking fucking heartbeats, or the thing when a woman is pregnant and they put it on to see the baby. They were doing that to Sambi Lakanga because I think they thought he was fucking pregnant. This is the fucking club that was running this. Jesus Christ.
Was this a nursery? Come on, Arsenal. Seriously.
You see,
Jez, please come in here.
This is where I am coming from, there, boy. One person, I don't know who it was in the comments, wrote in, we are 4 weeks away from the Charity Shield against Man City, and we're still dealing with these fucking clowns at our club.
Yeah.
Round them up and get rid of them. It's as simple as that because they're not good enough.
You're right.
But don't
Like,
worry about that, boy. Everybody will hype them all up, make them all out to be legends of the club, and come next season, at the end of next season, we'd win 0 once again, and everyone will scratch their head and wonder why. Well, I tell you why. Because we haven't got the fucking players, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, see, the thing about it is, and I know we're laughing at it now, but Kyle, you're 100% right. When we're going to America, these players should be gone, and the players that are going to be starting the season should be on that airplane, because you get to bond with the players, you get to meet them, you get to, like, you know, and get bromances going, and fucking, he's a wanker, don't talk to him, he's a dickhead, you know, he farts in his sleep and he snores, you know what I mean? Shit like this.
Del boy, we're all laughing in disbelief, let's be honest.
Yeah,
this is just,
yeah.
This football club is like, it's not
I'm
really like a
laughing.
football club.
I'm laughing in disbelief that the fact that Noon Tavash, Sambi Lakanga, Rob Holding, and Eddie Nketiah are still members of this team. I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Neither do I. Like, well, let's be honest about it. I think it was this time last year they gave El Neni a new contract. Remember
Cedric,
this
exactly.
We haven't even talked about him yet. Reece Turkish Teeth Nelson.
Oh yeah, can I just say?
Yeah,
I am absolutely furious with that. It just goes to show he has no ambition as a football player. He only cares about money. Yeah.
And because the thing about it is, like, I looked at the video as well today, he signed a new contract. I think it could be 3 or an extension of 1 year as well after that. And they're there, the media team and these presenters and everything. When you see a fucking show on this Arsenal bullshit, and the presenters are fucking they're useless. They're fucking useless, right? The questions they were asking Reece Nelson was, oh, do you feel this is it's an Arsenal family? What is he supposed to say? Honestly, what was the question you went to fucking college and you asked him a question like that? Is he going to say, no, it's not. We all hate each other. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, fucking hell. But look, the business should be done before that fucking airplane takes off from fucking Heathrow or whatever it is to go over to America. Your business should be done. Your players should be got rid of. And your players that you want in should be there. But I forget who said it there in the chat. And they're 100% right. There's going to be one of our big players, or one of the players who played a lot last season, there's going to be an offer coming in for them that they can't refuse, and it's going to go. My thought on that is Kieran Tierney. I think a big bid for Kieran Tierney is going to come in, and he's going to be gone. So then that means within the last 2 weeks or something of the season starting. So that means then we're fucking flapping about again going, look, who's the replacement for Zinchenko if he gets injured? Who do we have backup? You should have nearly 2 players backup for that. And yet you're going to sell the likes of Kieran Tierney or whoever it is. I have that feeling myself. You know, Warren, you know, like, you're a big Kieran Tierney fan. Can you see him staying?
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry. I wanted to say this quickly. Sorry, Warren. Sorry, Del Boy. Don't worry. We've got Kiwior. He can play left back. We'll be okay.
Jesus. I won't even comment. Go ahead, Warren.
Right. The thing with Kieran Tierney is there's a lot of chat about him going on loan to Celtic.
There you go.
And because Brendan obviously knows him. He was the one that brought him into the Celtic team. And he, he's got a good relationship with Kieran. And, I can see him going. I'm not sure that he'll go to Celtic, but I can see him going to Aston Villa, definitely. I can see him going to Newcastle. But I don't know, man. It really concerns me because that we got a lot of players at this club that are nowhere near good enough. And some of them aren't even championship level. The likes of Eddie Nketiah and Rob Holding. I'm sorry, if I was managing a championship team that was pushing for promotion to the Premier League, they would not be getting a start in that team. I mean, Eddie Nketiah, for example, when he was on loan at Leeds, he couldn't get ahead in the team ahead of that Patrick Bamford. So why is he good enough for Arsenal? This is the sort of questions that I need the answers to. And the guy, he's not like he's a young fella. I think he's, mid-20s or something? 25, 26?
Not even, I don't think.
So he should be at the peak of his career. And we're letting Balogun go for 50 million quid. And yet this guy's staying. Honestly, I don't understand it. I just think that they're looking at these players as assets to try and raise as much money as they possibly can. So, Kieran Tierney, they should be able to get a fair whack of money for him, but they'll probably end up letting him go for about 25 million, 30 million, if that. There's talk about Balogun going for 50, is there, or something? You know how this club moves, we'll probably get 20 million quid for him if we're lucky. And I don't know, Del. I'm very concerned about our transfer business because as my man says, the man I did that amazing podcast with the other night.
Great show, by the way.
Volcano.
That was a great show, Warren and Carl. I loved it. I watched it.
Thank you.
It was a great show.
Well done, both of you.
Thanks so
So,
much.
Sorry, go Warren.
So, as Carl said, these players are just not good enough. And we're nowhere near ready for the start of the pre-season. These players, I've been saying it for the last 3 or 4 years, when Arsenal were allowing the transfer window to roll on and roll on and roll on. And they never got their deals done until right near the end of the window. The thing is, when you're the pre-season, you need to get all your transfer business done right at the start of the window so that you've got all the time to prepare the team, get the team gelling, get the players knowing each other, get them to understand the tactics that we're going to be playing in the new season so that when the season starts, we hit the ground running. And what's happened at this club for years and years and years, when the season starts, we're never ready. We're undercooked. So consequently, when the season starts, we always start and we play really poorly. And that is the reason why. Because they're not ready. And it's happening again. There's several positions in that team that need to be reinforced. The striker position. We need at least, I'd say, another 2 midfielders because if Xhaka's going and Partey's going, we need proper replacements, not the likes of Kai Havertz. And then we need backup for Saliba and the other fellow who plays next to him. Oh, God, I can never remember the poor lad's name.
Gabriel?
Yeah, that's it, Gabriel. And a decent backup keeper because it looks like the American fella, our backup keeper at the moment, might be going by the looks of it.
Turner.
So, yeah, Matt Turner. So, that's about 6-7 players. And it's too many for one window on top of what we're doing. That's like 10 players. That's way too many.
Yeah.
Because when you bring these players in, you need to be able to bed them in. You should, when you have a transfer window, you should really only be bringing in about 3-4 players max. Because otherwise it becomes too problematic trying to bed them into the team. And it just causes too many issues.
I think Spurs,
You know,
Spurs done that 1 year. I think when they sold Gareth Bale, I think, and on the money they got from Bale, they brought in about 5-6 players, and it just didn't work out for them. I agree with you there. Like, you know, it should be only sort of a few that should be in, but like Arteta should have his squad settled by now. And
how many years is this clown in charge of Arsenal Football Club by now? This is his 4th season. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, 3.5 years now.
It's Rob Horton there the last 4 years. He's the one. Arteta's the one that got in Kia Var. He's the one that brought in Lukongo. And all these waste of space. Have we not seen enough of them to realise that these lads are just not good enough for Arsenal? Eddie and Nketiah. Why did they turn around and give that man £100,000 a week? He's not good enough. And I'm known for saying that he's not good enough, this player's not good enough, that player's not good enough. When I speak about Arsenal Football Club, I speak about Arsenal Football Club winning the Premier League title by winning the Champions League title that we were promised when we knocked Highbury down. And when I see these players, they're not good enough to accomplish what we were promised. How many more seasons do we have to sit around as a fan base and watch Rob Holding and watch Eddie Nketiah and watch Lukongo and watch Fabio Vieira and watch all the rest of them to realise that they're not good enough? I can stop you from wasting your time for the next 3 to 4 years by telling you tonight that they're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
something has to be done, Del Boy, because we're not going to win anything again this season. I'm sick of it.
See, the thing about it is, like, let's not forget this, people, okay? Just remember when the documentary was out and the Garlic Head and Edu and Arteta were talking about getting rid of Aubameyang, and they were saying no one will take him, blah, blah, blah. Barcelona come in, they took him for 6 months, and they sell him to Chelsea, I think, was it for 25 million? They just, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the type of people that we have that we're expecting to clear out the dead wood. They would not organise a piss up.
You remember we terminated Aubameyang's contract, just to get him out in the last minute to sign for Barcelona.
Yeah, it's the backroom staff that I'm blaming, like your Edu and Garlic, and you know, TJ, you're looking sort of bewildered there. Like, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm not meaning to look bewildered. No. You know, it's one of those things where we know that Arteta didn't want Aubameyang sitting around stinking up the dressing room. Like, you can say what you want about how Arteta can't manage egos, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all before. But you got to give him credit that if he wants a player, and if he wants a player out, he gets a player out. He might not get the players he wants in all the time, but he will definitely get them out. So Aubameyang,
fat lot of good that does in the whole scheme of things.
Well, you know, it does and it doesn't, Manny, because I think that I don't think we would have finished any better with or without Aubameyang that season. I really don't. I think we would have collapsed and ended up in Europa League regardless, because we were on that form all season. It doesn't matter. Aubameyang didn't save us from losing to Forest away in the FA Cup. You know what I mean? You can't necessarily blame him for that. There was a team loss, you know. We're incrementally improving. And that is under Mikel Arteta, not at the speed at the likes of some of our friends would like, not the speed that I would like. But you got to, in my opinion, you got to give him credit for getting Aubameyang out. Aubameyang,
no. Sorry, to interrupt you. 700 million pounds spent. He's not incrementally improving. That's absolute nonsense. He has got everything he's ever asked for, and he spent 700 million pounds, and we're still no closer to challenging for a league title from the day that he started. No, I'm sorry, mate.
Warren,
I'm
Warren,
sorry.
I know.
I'm really,
I
really
figured you were
sorry, man.
probably-
But I'm sorry.
I figured you were probably gonna interrupt me there, which is fine. But 8th to 5th to 2nd is improvement. It's not the improvement
Not when
that
the
we
rest
wanted
of the
to see.
teams that are around us have all collapsed as well. If those teams around us, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Tottenham, hadn't all collapsed, would we have finished second? No, I don't think we would have done.
Man City
Sorry, man.
didn't, and that's all that matters.
Sorry?
Man City didn't, and that's all that matters. We didn't win.
Well, yeah,
because
but
Man City
we didn't win it, did we?
No. I'm just saying that there's incremental improvements in positions, and I don't think anybody can disagree with that because it's the standings.
Well, there isn't incremental improvement, is there?
Minor. Sorry. Agree to disagree.
It's still improvement, and I don't think we're going to get anywhere in this argument. It's still improvement. Am I 100% Arteta in, Warren? No, I'm not. I expect first and a trophy. That is what I want. That's what I expect. Is that what everybody else expects?
We all do, TJ.
Okay,
we all
cool.
do.
Then we're all on the same page. Because then the only way you improve on second, Warren, the only way you improve on second, Warren, is first.
Yeah, you could end up playing in a league with 20-odd sides that were League 2 standards, and you'd win the league. But does it mean that you'd improve? No, it doesn't. It just means that you're playing with weaker sides.
Warren, respectfully,
the position does not matter. Unless we're winning it, it is completely and utterly irrelevant. Right? You're going on about incremental improvement. What would be incremental improvement is us challenging for trophies. Like reaching finals. Well, we're not. When was the last time we got to a final of a competition?
FA Cup, 2020.
Yep,
and
3 years ago.
And we were just challenging for the Prem, Warren. I'm not disagreeing with you that we lost. We all know we lost, but you can't deny that there has been positional improvement within the league.
It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't make any difference unless you're finishing first. It's complete irrelevance, right? And the only reason we have to look at the bigger picture on what was going on around us. I'm telling you now, come next season, we will not finish in the top 4. We'll be lucky to finish in the top 6. And then we will really see whether there's incremental improvement or not. Because there isn't.
I can see where you're coming from on that, but I don't see how we finish outside of the Champions League spots with the club that we have.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. You've got Newcastle, you've got Manchester United, you've got Liverpool. All those teams are going to be improving.
Warren, I'll make you a bet right now that we finish above Man United. We are going to beat Man United. We are going to finish above Man United.
Possibly we will, but we will not finish above Newcastle. We will not finish above Liverpool. We will not finish above Chelsea. I doubt we'll finish above Chelsea. We're just not good. We haven't got the players. And we're going to sell Thomas Partey. He's one of our best players. We've got a manager who's absolutely clueless and couldn't set up a team to save his life. As soon as he comes up against anyone who's got any sense of tactics or knows what they're doing, he fails.
So Warren, you're saying that we don't have the players. I mean, look at those other teams' players though. Liverpool are halfway into a rebuild now. Chelsea are in a rebuild now. Man United, if you look at that squad, their midfield is dead. They had to go out and get Mason Mount as their marquee signing. And they're laughing at us.
Who would you rather have, Mason Mount or Kai Havertz?
Who cares?
Because I know I'd rather have.
They're both dross. Who cares? They're both
dross. But which one would you rather have? Because Mount is way superior to Havertz. I'm telling you now. And I'm telling you now, our midfield is incredibly it's weaker this season, will be weaker this season than it was last season, particularly if we let Thomas Partey go.
Well, if we let Thomas Partey go,
likely.
I agree.
Well, what it does
problem. But
What
go
I'm
ahead,
going to
Dale.
do is just sort of just go around. I'll start with Manny, and sort of just give it a where do we find Arsenal finishing in the league this season? If we get the players that we're getting, where do you think it will finish up, Manny?
It's a difficult question to answer, Del, because I do remember, coming on a stream. I believe that was with Tony Claude Gunn, and I was asked the same question: where will we finish next season? And I think, ideally, with the players that we've got, I don't see us repeating our second place finish, because the other teams are going to, strengthen. They're going to come at us, and they're going to definitely want to fight hard to regain their former glory. But I also take into consideration the fact that if there has been some improvement that TJ speaks about, then this is the season that will prove it. Because if we're not going to finish second or even challenge for the title, and I don't see us challenging for the title, even with Declan Rice, because look, Kovacic is definitely an improvement, and our midfield is still going to be cooked by City every single week. You can count on that. It will be a struggle for us to finish back within the Champions League places. I've said that we've all agreed that if Arteta doesn't win the Premiership, he will have to leave. And yet, I do predict that we might end up finishing fourth, and the clamour will be there for him to stay. And personally, if he does finish fourth and achieves nothing else, he needs to leave again, because we can't keep having the same. Do we really want to go back to the whole top four as a trophy nonsense again and be satisfied with that when we kicked out Arsene Wenger for the same reason? No. I think we'll finish fourth. We will hold on to our Champions League spot, but by a hair. And it won't be good enough, but that's where we'll finish, I think.
Static, I'll come to you next.
Well, based on our current transfer activity, I think we'll finish just outside top four, unless we bring in a good striker. And we still need... We need Caicedo. I don't know. It's just... Right now... Obviously, these are early predictions, so a lot can change between now and the end of the transfer window. So I hope if we bring in a striker and Caicedo, that's just my personal preference. Then I will definitely change my mind in terms of finishing outside the top four, and we'll probably end up finishing top four. But I just can't see us winning the league, because it's not just the players we bring in, it's also the consistency. I just can't see Arsenal winning game after game after game. I hope we do. I really hope we do match what we did last season, but it's a big ask. That's what I honestly think.
We're not going to do that. It'll be a struggle to keep our Champions League place.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say something. I want to ask Jez Collins if you're on a live chat, Jez. Can you ask me a question about Gilles Grimandi? Is he currently the scout for Arsenal? Put it in the live chat. Would like to know. I'm just curious about it.
Yeah. Kyle, where I know I'm just doing this sort of, it's early doors yet, but as we're speaking, where do you think Arsenal finish?
I want Arsenal to finish number one. I'm not interested in any other position but number one. For me, I heard TJ Warren having a chat or a discussion about what they believed in. For me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What's the difference? Especially with Arsenal Football Club. It's not as if finishing second, we're going to go into the Champions League and win it. Waste of time. I want us to win number one. That's it. Now, maybe that's a bit high. Maybe it's a bit unrealistic. It has been for the last 20 years, so why not another year? Number one is my position. That's what I want. But to be truthful, probably 5th, 6th, about 5th maybe. Because, yeah, I hear what you're saying about Declan Rice and that, but if Partey goes, just for talk's sake, if Partey goes, and just say Declan Rice gets an injury, who will we rely on? Dongongo? Or whatever his name is, Sambi, as I call him.
El Nene as well. El Nene. Oh, God.
Someone like that to come in, we're going to be in serious bother. So for me, there boy, as I speak, I'm going 5th.
Oh,
Well, I said outside the top 4, so I have to kind of
Yeah.
agree with Carl.
If they don't get number 1 static, 5th, because this bullshit in
Yeah.
top 4 crap.
Warren,
Exactly.
we're as of speaking now, where do you think we'll come top 4? Or where do you think we'll come in the league?
Well, the way things are at the minute, and if we allow Thomas Partey to go, I think we'll finish 6th or 7th. I think that's the best we can hope for. And, you know, I agree with Carl. It's number 1 or nothing. And I have to say, I'm sick to the back teeth of hearing and, you know, I'm sick to the back teeth of seeing our supporters consistently, year on year on year, backing this absolute nonsense. Like saying, oh, yeah, you know, we challenged last season and it's good and, you know, get behind him. No, I'm sorry, it's not good enough. He should never have been appointed in the first place. The whole lot of them need to go. Not just Arteta. The whole lot of them need to go after what happened last season and get people in who actually know what they're doing and who have got the experience to know what to do when things get a bit tricky. This ridiculous experiment of like giving jobs to novices has to end. We're not a further education college, and we're not going to win anything by keep employing people who don't know what to do. It's an absolute ridiculousness. And to answer your question again, Del Boy, sorry, mate. We need to, you know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this team if we're going to challenge for a title, because all these teams that last year collapsed around us, they will not collapse again this coming season. They're all strengthening. They're all making good signings. The only decent signing we've made so far who's going to come in and be able to hit the ground running is Declan Rice. And as Carl said, what happens if he gets injured? Because if we don't have Thomas Partey and we don't have Xhaka, who's coming in to replace him? Mohamed El-Neni? And they're going to have Mohamed El-Neni or Jorginho playing in midfield alongside Kai Havertz. We will get ripped to pieces if we have to play with them two. It's going to be an absolute shambles yet again. I'm sorry, I'm sick of it. I really am. And I despair at it. I really do. This club, I'm sick to the back teeth of this club. I really am, because the fan base is an absolute shambles. The way the club's managed is an absolute shambles. The ownership is a shambles. Everything about it is a shambles. And we're not going to improve until something is done about it. End of story.
Like, I get where you're coming from, 100%. The way that I look at it is, by the sacking of Steve Round, for me, I think Arteta has been told, mate, this is your make or break season. You have to go out and win the Premier League. It's that fucking simple. Because you're after spending, we're after backing you, 700 million you've spent this club. It's your team, it's your squad, it's your coaching staff. You go out and win us a trophy. Get us Premier League, go far in the Champions League, whatever it is, get an FA Cup as well along the way to help. Okay? And the way that I'm looking at things, I agree with you about Arteta and stuff like this. He's not a good manager or whatever, but they're not going to sack him. This is the fucking thing. They're not going to sack him now. So we just have to just go along with the ride. This is what I always say. It's spilt milk. What do you do with it? You just fucking clean it up and get on with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to back the players that are there, the new ones that are coming in, the ones that are gone. Good riddance. Thanks for the service. See you later. Don't want to know about you. Don't want to see you again.
Sorry to interrupt. I am not backing Kai Havertz. I refuse. Sorry. Not him. Everyone else, yeah, but not Kai Havertz. Sorry.
Like, and just sort of like, TJ, I'll give you your chance there, mate. What's your sort of prediction on where we'll finish this season?
Del Boy, I don't think I could have put it any better than you just put it. You're 100% correct. Arteta's not leaving, and I think that I think that your reading of the firing of the assistant is spot on. Okay, so Kroenke Sports and Entertainment people, they are putting a ton of money into this transfer window, and they will expect results. I bet you if we do not get a trophy this season, I bet you Arteta gets the sack. I'm willing to bet it. I'm willing to bet it. I'm not, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But the way the wind is blowing right now, the amount of money that the Kroenkes are throwing into this thing, if they don't get the results that they expect, which I believe is a Prem Trophy, an FA Cup, and an FA or Carabao Cup, and going far in the UCL, and I'm not talking group stage, drop out of the group stage and go far in Europa. No, I mean we get into the round of 16, round of 8. If we don't see that, I would be willing to say that the seat under Arteta's ass gets pretty hot. As for my my season predictions, I think we finish second or third again. That is, of course, considering that we have the injury luck that we had last season. If you remember last season, up until the Jesus injury, we were pretty lucky in terms of injuries. Okay. So it's one of those things where, are we going to get that lucky again? Who knows? If we do get that lucky again, I see us in second or third, because if you really look at the other teams around us, the only one that is really significantly improved over this transfer window is Newcastle and Liverpool. The rest of them, not really. If you really look at it, take a look at their signings. Manchester United, Mason Mount. Okay, great. Yeah, and you can compare him to Kai Havertz. Yeah, that's fine. But we also went out and got Declan Rice and Jurgen Timber, which I believe are great. Declan Rice walks into the team, and Timber will be a good bench signing, depth signing. I really do believe that. So if we do get the injury luck that we had last time, we will get second, because honestly, there's nobody that's going to knock Manchester City off the perch, guys. There's not. It just is what it is. They are this generation's juggernaut. So, so we just got to do what we can, win the games that we can. Don't lose to freaking dead teams like Luton Town away and like Burnley away and all this crap. No acceptance of that BS this season. None. Because there was plenty of people that were like, oh, we lost away at Everton, move to the next one. No, none of that. We need change immediately if that happens. No riding the same formation, no nothing. The only way that Arteta is really going to have me, like, while he's producing results, if he's not changing it up and rotating some of these players in and out of the team and seeing what they really got, that's what's really going to piss me off. That's what's really going to piss me off. And thank you.
Exactly. You've got to show some signs of being willing to evolve and change and adapt and have a plan B. And if Arteta can't show that, he doesn't have any chance as a manager. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. And we'll get the same results as we did last season. I yield my time back, Del. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Look, guys, please do just if you could subscribe to the channel and just hit a like on the video, really appreciate it. Thanks a million for everyone tuning in and everyone in the chat, really appreciate it. And to the guys on Darren as well, who was here earlier on. I'll just give you a quick shout out for your name before I just wrap it up. Manny, I'll give you a shout there. Do you want to give a shout out to your...
Sorry, can I just quickly say...
Go start real quick.
I just want to say quickly, Earthquake Warren, he's caused a massive earthquake in the live chat. Respect to everyone in the live chat. Go, Manny.
Yeah, so you can big up once again to Del. Always my first, my last, my everything when it comes to YouTube. Never, you were the one, obviously, I have to say, who introduced me to this new thing, and through you I got to meet so many amazing people. Big up to the old school Gunner for introducing me to you, by the way. And you can find me here chewing the fat with one of my favorite Irishmen, if not my most favorite. Also, shout out to my other channels. Shout out to Jez Collins, Arsenal History and More, whose stream I was on yesterday. Big up to all our panelists, including TJ Warren TV and his American Idiot show. I hope to come back soon if I possibly can. Also, shout out to Oris Talks Football, Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollope, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Up the Cherries in all departments, AFC Talk Show TV, Eugene Spurs U Asian TV, and also Matt the Southern Gooner. I've done about 2 or 3 streams with him. Absolutely love chewing the fat with him. Terrific perspectives on everything regarding Arsenal and so forth. And if there are any other channels which I've missed, you can't write them off before the season even starts. Support the players at least. I mean, Jez, sir, let me make something very clear. I don't think most of us are necessarily writing them off, but there are some players who've I think some of us have made it crystal clear that we can't back them because their records have made it crystal clear that they aren't worthy of their backing. Mr. Havertz himself being one of them. And I made it clear that with Mr. Havertz, we've got some William Borges vibes here because he was on a big salary. He had to play every game and it ended up, completely going to pot. So is history repeating itself? A wise person once said, if we don't learn from our history, we are doomed to repeat it. So that's all I'm going to say. But once again, big up to you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Big up as well to the old school Gunner. I think I've already bigged you up once, but I'll do it on Dell's behalf too. And hope that makes you happy. And like I said, if there's anyone I've missed, I'll send you a check in the post. Big up as well to everyone in the chat who's contributed. You're the ones who make this stream and Dell's channel what it is. And always a pleasure to come on and be in such esteemed company. To all the panelists, I thank you and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and have a good weekend. Enjoy the sports on offer. If you're interested in cricket and tennis, good for you. Some really good action going on. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be happy. Don't do anything that us panelists wouldn't do. But for now, I really do have to split. See you all soon.
Cheers, Manny. Thanks a million, mate.
See you, Manny. Take care, bro.
There's Manny.
Static, do you want to give a shout out, mate?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, static__5. You can also find me here on the lovely Del Boys channel, of course. You can also find me everywhere in the live chat on obviously Arsenal History and More, and many Arsenal channels in the lovely Arsenal community. So yeah, and can I just say as well with Kai Havertz, listen, I would love nothing more than for him to prove me wrong completely next season. I want him to have a fantastic season and to prove me wrong completely. So I also wanted to point out as well, one of my close friends, he actually said, with the money that we've spent so far and the players we've brought in, he said, we should finish top 4. I said to him, no way. With the money that we spent, we have to win the league next season. No excuses, especially after the way we completely messed up last season, the last 6 to 8 games of the season, maybe more. It's just, no excuses this season. I'm sorry, but I can't accept anything less. But thank you for having me on as always, Del Boy. You're a legend. Thank you.
Nah, thanks a million for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Fair play. Kyle, do you want to give a shout out, mate? Anything coming up?
Yeah, first thing is that I support Arsenal strongly like I do every season, Del Boy, and I want us to win the league title. I don't particularly want Arteta, but what can you do? He's there. So I will shout the boys on from day one all the way to the end, like I always do. But you asked me a question, where do I see us finishing this season? I try to give my honest opinion. My honest opinion is that I don't see us win the league title. And it's I don't even see us finishing in the top 4 this season. I agree with Warren. I think teams around us crumbled last season. I think each one of them are getting stronger. I think Pochettino is going into Chelsea. I think Pochettino is going to do a good job at Chelsea. I think Ten Hag will do well with Manchester United this season. Liverpool are starting to buy very, very good players as well in the markets. You have Newcastle, Villa, and the Premier League has gone into a league now where every team can beat everyone. So a few injuries here and there, it could stop the blow for us. I hope that I'm completely wrong. I hope that we go on and win the Premier League and have egg all over my face. I love it. I just don't see it. And Yeah. And the thing is, I just,
Bring on the
I
cannons.
just see still at the squad, I still see 7 or 8 players there by that have proved to me over the last few years that they're not good enough. And I'm just going by that. So big up to Arsenal. Let's hope that we can do it next season. But I know myself that we're not going to. That's all I have to say there, boy. You get me on Kai Walsh Gunner TV. I'm going to be, I didn't post any videos up because I was waiting to get confirmations of the signings. Now that we're getting them, I will be posting up a few videos and I will be letting you all know what my thoughts are. But as of now, I want to see more activity, as in departures. So let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Facts.
exactly. And
Facts.
I think we might even try to get a cheeky trip over to London, myself and yourself, Kyle, and we'll have a word with a few people.
Well, there, boy, absolutely. I did. I was talking to Warren, and I made Warren a promise that when we're over there, we're going to go and see him as well.
Ah, yeah. Happy days. 100%. Warren, on that note, do you want to shout out your channel?
Yeah, my channel's Warren's Team Talk on YouTube. I'm also, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, most places really. But yeah, Del, thanks very much for having me on. I think it's been a great show. You've had some great panelists on here. Everyone, all the people that have been on the panel, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the panel with them. I've really enjoyed it. Not enjoying talking about the situation at Arsenal at the moment. I find it very stressful because I know what this club could be. But sadly, it's yet again, I just don't think that we're going to do what's required. It's consistent with Arsenal where we get 1 or 2 decent signings and then we just fail to do the final piece of the jigsaw to get us over the line. And the situation, again, Del, you mentioned earlier about, Arteta and about comparing it to spilt milk, just clear it up and get on with it. Mate, I have to say, I can't disagree with you more. I really am sorry, mate, but if we don't kick off and we don't make life difficult for this club, nothing will change. We're the only ones that are going to be able to change things at this club, right? And unless we hold this club to account, nothing's going to happen because it ain't coming from the owners because they couldn't give a monkey about Arsenal Football Club. They're not interested. Conky Sports Enterprise, whatever they're called, they're only interested in their American sports. They're not interested in Arsenal. And we need to keep kicking off and we need to keep fighting for this club because until that changes, it's not going to change. We can't sit in there and just accepting it. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but it sparks a thought in my head that people would take it that way. And I know that's not what you mean.
Yeah.
If we just accept this business of Arteta, this continual year on year failure that it's been since he's been here, then that's all that we're going to get in the future. It's now 19 years since this club's won a league title. He spent nearly £700 million. And like I said earlier, we're no nearer winning a league title than what we were when he first got appointed. So for me, the whole lot of them need to go. The whole lot of them, top to bottom, because it's been abject failure since the moment that they were appointed. So thanks very much for having me on, Dale Boy.
No, thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Another thing, Warren, which we all know this. Yes, he's won the FA Cup, but it's also 3 years. 3 years without a trophy after winning the FA Cup. Not acceptable. This is not acceptable for Arsenal Football Club.
Absolutely, that's it.
I'll come to you, mate. TJ, do you want to give a shout out to your channel and stuff like that?
Yeah, thanks, Delboy, for having me on. I cut my teeth on YouTube on your and Jez's channel, so I will never forget that. So again, thank you for having me on, letting me express my opinions, letting everybody come on here and have a discussion that is rooted in fact and rooted in passion. It's always a pleasure. So yeah, TJ Warren TV is my channel. Big up all the legends in the chat, everybody on this panel. Yeah, American Idiot Show tomorrow night, 9 p.m. UK time. We're having Flawless from Sarcasm City TV on. So set your notification bells, tune in, and Del Boy, I got to get you back on the show, my man.
Yeah. Jesus, drop me a message about that later on tomorrow. I might be free, so yeah, if the space, I might just jump on for a bit.
Yeah,
whatever.
We'll reach out. We'll coordinate. Sure.
100%.
Thank you again, everybody, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. And thanks to everyone, all the legends in the chat as well. Absolutely quality, because this is why I do the stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's boring doing videos without you and stuff like that. I love the interaction. We have disagreements. We have agreements. If everyone agreed with life all the time, it would be very boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But please do check out everyone's channels here. Like, you know, Kyle, Warren's, TJ's. Also, OSG is in the house and he's going live at 10 o'clock. So please do check that out as well.
One thing in common, Del Boy.
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say one last thing. I'm sorry to interrupt again. One thing we all do have in common is we absolutely love Arsenal Football Club, and we all want what's best for Arsenal. So we can never forget that.
100%. I'm going to have to shoot off now because my dog is starting to eat my Arteta colouring book. So I better get the fuck out of here. Thanks a million, everyone. Look, I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care and God bless you all. And stay